PHLV radio family, Merry Christmas and all the best in the coming year.
Merry Christmas from your friends at PHLV Radio.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
Hello, good evening. It's Friday night and it's 9:03 p.m. here in the Pacific or in California. So if you're watching us on this side of the world, good evening, magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. And if you're watching us in the Philippines, it is Saturday afternoon. So magandang tanghali. I believe it's 1:03 p.m. So magandang tanghali and hopefully you had a beautiful, wonderful lunch with your family or your loved ones. And if you're watching us in any parts of the world, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Those people who will be watching this show on replay you are part of Team Replay, happy viewing to everybody. So this is so exciting. A couple more days and it's Christmas. So before we start, we're live and broadcasting simultaneously on PHLV Radio YouTube channel. So if you're not a subscriber yet, what are you waiting for? Please do subscribe. All you have to do is like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our shows. Also, simultaneously, we are live on Facebook I keep saying you, PHLB Radio Facebook page. And simultaneously, we're also live if you are using Alexa. All you have to do is say, Alexa, play PHLB Radio. And if you are part of the Amazon Fire TV, all you have to do is look for PHLB Radio channel. Simultaneously, we're audio streaming live to different podcasts, namely Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. So with that said, like what I said earlier, if you miss any of the shows and if you're late, no problem. You could always go back to our website, which is www.phlbradio.com, or you could definitely go back to our PHLB Radio YouTube channel. So with that said, like what I said earlier, it is 10 days before Christmas. So hopefully you're done with your shopping and you're busy doing your Christmas party and all that. Just be careful out there and stay safe and enjoy the season. Now, this is an exciting day for us here at PHLB Radio because we have a very special guest, and this guy is a Fil-Am, or Filipino American, if you're not too familiar with that. And we're going to talk about him, and it's going to be up close and personal. We'll know more about him, and we'll know about his music. And I'm so excited because I happen to know him through a good friend of mine, and it's Auring Kodal. So we'll talk about the relationship about that. But like what I told him earlier, Auring introduced me, but I listened to his music, and it's one of those that it's so interesting, and there's so much to talk about this guy on how he came out with all these wonderful songs, and he just recently has some work, and he has released some singles and album and extended play on different platforms, and we're going to talk about that as well. So without much further ado, let me introduce you, Winlove. Winlove, hello, welcome to PHLB Alam Mo Ba with Jush Andowitt.
Hi everyone, hey Josh, thanks for having me, excited to be on the show.
Okay, now first question. Winlove is your brand, right? That's the name that you use. Aside, of course, you have your real name. We're not gonna go into that. So, because I asked you earlier, should I call you Joseph, which is your real name, your first name? But you said it's branding, so I understand that. So, moving forward, we're gonna use Winlove. Winlove, where did you get? Because people were texting me, Winlove, where did you get the name Winlove? What was the idea behind that?
So, funny enough, while it's the name I'm trying to give myself as an artist, is also actually my real name. So, as you know, a lot of Filipinos tend to have two first names. So, my whole name is Joseph Winlove Kodal Soriano. And so, they come from Joseph Winlove comes from both of my grandfathers on each of my parents' sides. So my dad's side, his name is Jose, and my mom's side, my grandpa's name was Winlove. And so I decided, most of my life I've been going by Joseph. So I was like, Winlove is too good of a name to pass up as an artist. So I'm blessed to have that name, and I'm honored to be using that name as something that I can carry forward.
Oh, that's interesting, because I thought that win love is because once you listen to your music, you win love. You love is win.
Yeah, that's where it's ended up at this point.
I didn't know that it's your real name. Okay, let's talk about a little bit about Joseph growing up. Were you raised and born here in the U.S. in San Diego?
Correct. Born and raised Chula Vista, which is a small city within San Diego. And so born and raised in Chula Vista. And yeah, my parents came from the Philippines. I'm guessing that makes me second generation.
Second generation,
Correct.
yeah. Because if your mother and your father are from the Philippines and you were born and raised here, you're second generation, second gen, we call that. Now, Winlove, so your parents are originally from the Philippines. What part of the country? Are you familiar with where they came from?
So my mom's side comes from Bukidnon, Malaybalay. And my dad's side comes from Santa Fe, Nueva Vizcaya. Luckily, I've had the chance to go back and visit both those places and just have the absolute pleasure of meeting my family on both sides.
That's correct, because during our research, and we're going to give all the platforms where they could follow you later, but if you're interested on Winlove's travel to the Philippines, he has the whole stack of pictures in there on his Facebook page, and it's really a sight to see, because not only you see his family, but you'll see definitely some of the beautiful places that the Philippines has to offer, and it's beautiful. And Winlove's Facebook page was able to capture that, so that was interesting as well. Now, Winlove, so how many times have you been to the Philippines?
I'd say probably 4 or 5 times now. It's been with several years between. So growing up, probably the first time I went was like 8, and then I went again when I was in high school, and then several other times, a lot more the past couple of years, because I went for for a big family reunion and to meet some people. So I'd say a total of 5.
Right. Okay. Now, how big are you? Do you have, how many siblings do you have? You're not an only child, though, right?
I am not. I have a pair of twin brothers that are 3 years younger than me, John Ben and John David. And but while I just have those, I have pretty much my extended family that's been my siblings since growing up, since a lot of my family is concentrated here in San Diego.
And you know how we are as a Filipino American. It's like we don't even have to invite friends. We're already big as it is, just our family alone. Now, tell us a little bit about your childhood. How was it? How was it growing up in Chula Vista?
It was a great time, honestly. Luckily enough, I've been blessed to have very motivated parents, and my mom, who was a nurse, and my father, who was a storekeeper at UCSD for majority of life before he went to focus on becoming a pastor. Because of the hard work that they put into raising myself and my brothers, they're able to make sure that we had a nice house over our head, good food. My dad cooked the best adobo, sinigang, all those things. And so we've always had the best opportunities that were presented to us, not just from my parents and my immediate family, but all the extended family, like Aurora Soriano, Rivera, who has given me stuff like just helping me get interactive with the community and the Filipino American community. And so it's been a great time growing up here in San Diego.
Wonderful. Now, before we continue, just to let everybody know, of course, we love, as he mentioned, he's a Filipino American born and raised in Chula Vista, which is part of San Diego. If you're not familiar geographically, people really hearing us or watching us, like Gina Marcos is watching us from the Philippines. It's a province in Luzon, that's Laguna. So how are you? Happy viewing, Gina. And some other people, please do shout out if you want us to give a shout out on your name. Now, my question for you is, you got involved with music. When did you know that this is something you'd like to do? Do you have any influences? Because all of us, we grow up, and yours is kind of special simply because, like what I told you offline earlier, not a lot of people are into rap music. It's either, especially for Filipinos, we know they're really into love songs, ballad. Some people would do into pop. It's a niche market, in my opinion. to be in rap. So when was your first awakening that, hey, this is the genre I'd like to do? Were you growing up? Were you already singing rap, or who are your influences? I know it's a loaded question.
Definitely, and I have a big answer for that. So I'm gonna start off a bit early. Growing up, I've always been involved with music, had the opportunity to learn how to sing from my father, learn how to play piano, learn how to play cello, learn how to play a little bit of guitar, some flute, all throughout growing up, not consistently, but just enough to get a better affinity towards music. And during that time in high school, I spent time with my creative writing classes writing poetry. And if you know, Jush, a lot of rap is pretty much just poetry to rhythm and having that swagger about you. And so in high school, that really set the tone for where I wanted to go when I would read read poetry by authors like Emily Dickinson, Edgar Allan Poe, even going up to some people more modern like Tupac Shakur, who is known to be as a rapper, but he wrote a lot of poetry. One of the ones that resounded with me was the Rose That Grew, and also it's basically about a rose that grew from the concrete. So a lot of those people really influenced me at my high school stage to get into poetry and get into the mindset of rhyming and understanding how the flow of words can help sway one's ear in what you're saying. And so as I was going up for high school, I started writing poetry, and then over time, I kind of fell out of it, every now and then coming to poetry as a release, as a way to get my feelings out and help process the things that I'm going through in my life. And from there, every now and then, I wanted to get back into music. So I probably 5-6 years ago, maybe 7 years ago now, because of COVID time messes up my brain. So 2015, I started getting into making my own music, producing my own beats. And so with my background as a pianist, with my understanding for music, I was able to start making beats. And it's like, wait a second, I've been making beats and I like poetry, so maybe I can put the two together and start making my own little raps. And so I would spend weekends, instead of going out with my friends, I'd spend weekends making beats and making some poetry, making some rhymes to go over those beats. And over time, it just turned into me trying to see how I can progress to be a better artist, how I can progress to be a better rapper, how I can make cool sounds with the music and also put amazing words on top of that music. And so the past 7 or so years has been me refining that process and refining my voice, because I remember when I first started rapping, my voice wasn't, it was just literally just me talking. It was like I'd be rapping and my friend gave me the feedback, it kind of sounds like you're just talking. And so over time, I learned you had to give a little to the voice and provide the whole reason that you're giving the seasoning that you're trying to take, trying to give that feeling that you get when you listen to rap music. And so over time, I've just gotten to this point, and it's been a long journey, but I'm super happy with where I'm at now.
Well, as they said, like what you mentioned, it's really poetry. So people, if you're not familiar with rap, it's really poetry in motion, in my opinion. It's just amazing, because some people, they think it's one of those genres that's hard to understand. No, but if you read the lyrics, it's loaded. It's loaded. It's talk about love. It's talk about dreams, ambitions, inspirations, motivation. I mean, it could move you. It really does move if you really listen closely, because I think a lot of people, especially not into the genre, they get turned off because they're thinking it's close to like gangs and all that. But it's not. If you could listen to the lyrics of the music of the song, it's really loaded with so much meanings that could transform lives. And that's the reason why I'm saying that, because I'm pertaining to your very first MTV that you released back in July, and that's One Step Away. I really enjoy that, because when I was doing the research, and you posted too, and it's on your Facebook as well as your, I believe, YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And I did that, and we're gonna show bits of pieces of it. It's a snippet of it, and then we'll have you do it live, and we'll show the video side by side with it, and we'll see how it happens. So let's see, can we do a little snippet of it? And I have some question for you on that after you do your performance. So this is With Love, and what you're seeing right now is the MTV. Okay, we're gonna mute the song, but because With Love is gonna do the music for us. You guys, especially those watching us right now, it is not only it's aesthetically great to hear the music and the song, but the video itself is so cool. So, With Love, are you ready to do this song for us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Yo, can we start from the top then? So, With Love can provide the live music for One Step Away. His very, very first MTV, and I think it's your first single that was released July 25th this year, 2022.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Should I just start it?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, sounds good. I'm always just one step away from being the main man. As I'm facing new opportunities every day can. Aim and get this decision and just move towards a mission. For I get my own admission that I ain't shit down. I got a lot of dreams aligned and all of these gifts of mine. Fantastic for them, but I'm human torch with these lines. Wish I could press rewind way back to 2009 and tell the angsty you should focus on rhymes, but you know in no DeLorean for me to change my story. And I guess I gotta go back to the future and explore again. Pouring out my soul for them, microphones recording it, hoping for some open doors to folks. So yeah, encore and shit. We all shine in our own way every single day. The decisions we make pave the path to our fate, and the fate can't relate cause they steady spreading hate. While I'm waiting on the day we find a way, cause we're only alright, one step away. We ain't giving up without a fight. Then hope that we might come out on top, cause you know we ain't got time to stop. We're only, you know who we are, one step away. What we gonna do? We've been holding on for a long ass time. Ain't nothing gonna break our stride. We all got ideas of the people that we supposed to be, constantly confined by the standards of society. Sometimes you wonder what Joe Schmo down the road would think if we try to be something more than what they already perceive. Over the years, all of the fears will find a place in me to dwell. It would appear that even your peers can cause some tears and eyes as well. Now it's a war to settle the score with these thoughts that are in mind, hoping for some new decor to help redecorate my mind while I figure out the star that I see in the sky. You know that I'm about to shine till the day that I die. Moses with the mic, moving crowds round like seas, energized by the screams like I'm working Monsters Inc. As the life I'm looking for becomes the life I lead. I learned the things that set you back are sometimes meant to be. As long as I keep moving on, at the end of the day, I stay focused on my goal, cause I'm just one step away. We're only alright, one step away. We ain't giving up without a fight. That chance that we might come out on top, cause you know we ain't got time to stop. We're only, you know who we are, one step away. What we gonna do? We've been holding on for a long ass time. Ain't nothing gonna break our stride, cause we're only. Josh, I want to do a line dance to this. I'm working on a line dance so we can do our parties, you know? Electric slide. Cause you know we ain't got time to stop. We're only one step away. We've been holding on for a long ass time. Ain't nothing gonna break our stride, cause we're only one step away from that chance that we might come out on top. Cause you know we ain't got time to stop. We're only one step away. We've been holding on for a long ass time. Ain't nothing gonna break our stride.
That is so awesome. It gives me goosebumps. But, you know, honestly, when I was doing it last week, I was listening to some of your work. This one is so danceable.
Yep.
and you're right. I think you should create like another mix where people could line dance with it. It's really danceable. It's so cool. And
I agree.
If you listen to the music, if you listen to the lyrics, it's really awesome. Awesome.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
If you guys need to follow this guy on YouTube, he has his YouTube channel as well. And of course, we'll get all those platforms out of the way later. But he has a lot more stuff going on in his YouTube channel. But for me, I really like this one. This one is One Step Away. It's so cool.
Thank you.
It's danceable. Well, question. Now, the training on you have for this rap, is this something that you do? Because it's all mouth. You really have to do it fast and quick and with the lyrics. That's not a lot of people, because when I do sing, it has to be slow, balladish. Yours, that's gonna be tough. So is that something that you train for? Because I know people would just sing the normal song, it's like ballad. You breather. It seems like when you do rap, what are the challenges to do rap?
Oh, there's so many challenges, Josh. When I was first coming up with this song, you notice that there's a lot of parts where it goes by really quickly. And now, if you imagine a tongue twister like Irish wristwatch, that one's a tough one. There's a lot of words in that song that I had to practice over and over and over in order to make sure that I don't fumble those words. Like, over the years, all of the fears will find a place in me to dwell. It would appear that even your peers can cause those words. Oh my goodness, took so long just to nail down because it's such a fast vibe, you know? And so it's a lot of practice, and it's a lot of figuring out how your mouth works. So the tongue positioning, where your tongue contacts with your mouth, making sure that the sounds that you make aren't too far apart. Otherwise, if you're doing like a sound like a ka and you're going over to a ta, that's going to be a hard move from the back of your mouth to the front of your mouth. And so those are things that I think about as a rapper to make things easier to hear and easier to understand. And of course, it depends on what you're going for, but for the ease of the flow of the song, that's something that I definitely had to focus on. That and practice. Practice is always what I have to do.
That's why I have more respect for rappers, because like the ballad's easy because you do one syllable at a time, one word at a time. You just prolong it. You can like do the vocal acrobat for that. But for a rap or a rapper, that's really tough to do because, like what I said earlier of the show, not a lot of even good singers would not even attempt. A lot of my guests who are really good balladeers and they're really good singers, and when I ask them among the genres, which one you cannot or refuse to do, and they said rap. That's something that we leave it for the experts, because they said it's really a mouth twister, like what you mentioned. Now, when you were starting, is that the genre you decided like, okay, I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be my genre that I'm really familiar with. This is what I'd like to do. I really like to do poetry and stuff like that. But before you answer, let me give a shout out to Adele Ordinario. Adele is watching. I think whether he's in Long Beach right now, because Adele is all over the place. He could be in Nevada. She could be in Carson or Torrance. Adele, where are you at today? But she's giving you a big clap for your performance. And Lloyd Mystica is watching from that place in Laguna. It's Lilio, which they make good slippers, or we call it chinelas. But happy viewing to you guys, and I know a lot of people are still watching and being quiet as well. So to answer my question, so is that the genre you really decided to do? Because most Filipinos that I know, especially Filipino Americans who are singers, they really stick with pop and ballad. But in your case, what was that, a personal choice, or you could still do ballad as well?
I could still do ballad, but to answer your question, Josh, where I started, this is pretty much the genre I decided, because for the longest time I was in the mindset that I couldn't do things. For example, I didn't think I was good enough of a vocalist to be a ballad singer, because I had so many people around me in San Diego who were Filipino, who were great singers. They're like, oh, I can't sing like them. That's not me. And so over time, I kind of instilled that in my mind. I was just like, I can't sing, so I'll try to rap. I'll go do the poetry and stuff, because that's something that is more me. And so listening to artists like Linkin Park or Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole, those are some of my bigger influences in terms of how my vocals sound. And so those people really inspired me to go towards the rap career. But over time, as I've been making my music and getting a better understanding for music, I learned that I can sing. It's the only thing that was stopping me from becoming a ballad singer was my own self. I realized, like, okay, if I just put the time in and practice and did the singing exercises, I can start singing just as well as some of these other people. It might not be the best, but it's gonna be my style, and that's the style that I'm looking for.
Wow. Now, walk me through the process when you did the One Step Away. Which came first, the music? Which came first, the lyrics? Like for someone like most of us listening and watching you, walk us through the process and how you put that together. Because in past interviews with other people, like they would start with a melody and then they put the lyrics. Like in your case, forget about the MTV first. Just putting the song and everything together. How do you start? Where do you begin?
So my normal process, I start with the beat usually, because with the beat, if the beat speaks to me, I'm able to build something to it. So if the beat has like a sadder vibe, I'm ready to write a sadder song. I can do it the other way as well, but I find it's more organic for me to have a beat produced and then write to that beat, because that's how my relationship is with music. Ever since growing up, I would listen to, I guess most people do. We listen to music to enhance the mood that we're in. Whether we're in a sad mood, we'll listen to some sad music because that's the energy we're feeling. And so for me, when I listen to music and I'm in that particular mindset for that music, that's the easiest way for me to start making the lyrics for it. And so that's my usual process. But specifically for One Step Away and for the songs off of my EP, Ambitious, most of those are beats that I collaborated with other artists. For example, One Step Away was done for this hip-hop contest where I got second place, and the producer is a friend of mine, Carino, and he did such a good job with the beat. And so I put my vocals on it, recorded it, and engineered it a bit so that it had a better sound overall, and then put it out. And so that my main goal with the Ambitious EP was just to get music out there, because I noticed that when I do the whole process myself, I end up getting stuck on the small details because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And so just for the sake of understanding the process and completing my process so that I know what it feels like to release an EP, I put together this EP so that for the next ones, I have a lot better idea for what it takes and how I can plan things.
Interesting. Now, when you do, so how long did it take though? I mean, does it depends on your mood, or is it depends on how inspired you are? Like for like, let's talk about One Step Away. How long did it take to get that done?
To get that done, it took me, for the initial process of writing the song, it took me about not too long to write the initial draft, but to refine it. Like, I could write something, and while it might be good, there's always ways I can improve it. So it's a refining process. The first day I had the rough draft probably in a day, but over time, like a lot of the words that I have now are not the words that I had at the beginning. So over time, it took probably close to a week to really refine the song, because as I'm recording it and I do multiple, like probably 100 takes, I'm like, oh, how can I have said that better? Or how can I have worded that better? And so over that time that takes about a week for me to finish up that recording process, and then getting into the mixing stage of things so that all the levels of the audio come out so you could hear every part of it. That takes probably just as long, because it's something that it's easy to get fatigued in, because you're constantly listening to the song over and over and over again. So you're like, does this sound good? Does this sound how it should be? You don't know until you take a break from it. You have to step away from it for a little bit so that your ears have time to adjust and understand and process what it's hearing, so that the next time you can have a better idea of what you need to change. And so I'd say to get the whole thing set and done to completion, probably 2 weeks total.
Wow. Now, when you do write the song, what inspiration that comes to mind? Is that something that you experience? Because I just talked to a singer who would be guesting here as well at our show. He said, well, he writes a lot about heartaches and torch songs, something that's really for separations. But he's a happy married guy. So I said, where are you getting that inspiration? So, well, I observe people and I put my shoes on their shoes, even though I'm not feeling it the way an ordinary person would feel. And he incorporate that in the song. In your case, though, how do you do that? Is it the same motivation? Do you have to be hurt? Do you have to feel that emotion, or you put yourself into other people's shoes? I'd like to pick your brain on that one.
That's pretty accurate. Like, for me, it's a mix of two different things. Either the same way the artist you mentioned, it's just some days you're not feeling the way you should, or that you're trying for the song that you're making. Sometimes you're not exactly in that mindset. So you do draw on people's experiences. For example, I wrote a song a while ago about my friend's relationship with his girlfriend. At the time I was single, and I was just like, man, that's a messed up situation. But it really resonated with me, and I wanted to tell his story. So that's probably the first. I agree with that first way of making music, just putting yourself in people's shoes and having that empathy to understand what people are going through so that you can distill that into a song. The second way is definitely a lot more personal. I think every single song off of the Ambitious EP is just pretty much me talking about my feelings and processing my mindset around what it takes to become an artist. And so it's a mix of both of those things. It's the influences from other people or my own, just trying to process my life and everything.
Wow. Now, before we continue, I'm going to ask you for another performance that you could share with us. So what is the title of this song, and definitely what was the inspiration behind this?
Gotcha. So if you're ready, are you ready for All I Got, or would you want me to hold that off for a bit
Hold
later?
that will be our third break.
Okay, sounds good. So the song that I'll be performing next is the first song off of the EP. It's called Legendary. And so the whole motivation behind it is me trying to understand what it takes for me, myself personally, to become legendary, to become the best at what I do, my best self. And so a lot of it revolves around that, whether it's the doubts that I've had on this journey or the hopes that I've had and the things I've done to circumnavigate both those things in order to achieve my goals. And so if you're ready for it, I'll put it on right now.
Yes, we're ready. So, ladies and gentlemen, without much further ado, Legendary.
Legendary. Love. I wanna be legendary, but thoughts in my mind got me very scary, afraid of failures, but I gotta stay facing them head on till I become a phenom. For now I'm gonna ride like I'm fighting for my freedom. Believe I'm the best, but second guessing makes it hard to succeed. I'm done with digits dictating the way for me to proceed. I wanna do my own stuff and speak my truth, but I can't help but think that I should do what others do. I can't help but wish I was a hit with the clubs, or that I was edgy so the kindness show me love, or that my balls were harder just to be the king of MCs. I've been grinding, trying to find a way to overcome these leaders, and it's been working out. I've written things still hitting me at the years out. I've been told things that have been a total honor to hear, like thanks for making me feel like I'm not alone in my fears. I can feel the tears, they say to write about what you know. I guess that's why I've been rapping about my doubts and hopes, cause the past 7 years have been a struggle to establish my identity. It's challenging when you lack in self-esteem. Be stuck wondering if I'm even good enough, rather than proving that I am. I gotta change it up, always shown confidence, never been confident, learning to rock the shit so you can see me blasting off like I'm a rocket shit. Like it nervous right before I go perform, but soon as I can find the flow, I know I bring the storm. I know it's still a long ass way to go. Sometimes I'm losing hope with thoughts and stop the show, but I won't, cause when I think about the past and who I used to be, I'm realizing that I'm so much further than it seems. Going from my little beats and unrefined techniques to lyrics speaking to hearts with bars and hard like my teeth. I'm firing rights precisely, I ain't down for the count, I ain't throwing the towel, I'm still fighting. My feet are grounded for power, going round at the round, strike fear in my sound. I bring the lightning, it's frightening, the potential residing deep inside me. Unleash the energy, the aftermath is worth surviving. I'm diving to a frequency so vital to my victory, no rival but my own damn self. Don't you forget striving hard, cause I'm done being somebody's pet. It's my desire to reach heights I never thought I'd get. Future brighter with each light, turn it on in my mind. I'm gonna reach the best of me with the progression of time. In the end, it don't matter where the future may lead. I'm always one step away as long as I'm doing me. From here on out, there's only one way to proceed. With my head down till I become legendary. Hey, 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 singing with me. Hey, hey, hey. This wonderful scratching done by DJ Kizza, a friend of mine here in San Diego. Wonderful DJ. Look him up on social media. Hey, wait for it. Hey. Thank you, Josh.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Really enjoying it so much. Our listeners and viewers too, because in the past, most of our guests are either ballad, pop, and Broadway. But this time, you're the second one that I have. But with the other guests I did, you barely touch on the rap, but yours is more like on the rap side, which is so cool because this is a genre that I'm so excited about. Because like what you said, it's poetry, really. If you really listen to that. Now, before anything else, though, a lot of people are texting me, is this guy single? No, he's not single. He's happily married. As a matter of fact, he is very happy that, and definitely February 14 is always a special day for this guy, for Win Love. And the reason why I said that is because in 2020, 2 years ago, he got married to this beautiful Janela Marie Ibay. Let's show these beautiful pictures which Win Love didn't even know gonna show? Yo, can we show some pictures of this beautiful lady and this beautiful location?
I love
Tell
it.
us about this wonderful day.
So, yeah, 2020, right before, luckily enough, it was right before COVID really took flow. And so we were able to have a nice little small wedding from family and friends and just get together and celebrate our love. And so we chose February 14th because so we wouldn't I wouldn't have an excuse to forget my anniversary. And so now I always remember. But it was a good wedding. It was a fantastic wedding, and I just feel completely lucky to be married to such a wonderful person.
She is beautiful. Let's show her profile picture. I was able to get. She's pretty. Look at her.
Yeah.
She's so pretty. You call her Janella? Or you call it? What's your term of endearment for her?
I call her Nels.
Nels. Wow.
Yeah,
And
Nella.
she has a business also.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does events because I saw it, or I was checking on her. She does a lot of bridals.
Yeah, she did a lot of she makes dresses for brides and all of that. So,
Yeah, beautiful dresses. I saw on her website.
yeah, she does such a creative person, and she is one of the reasons that I push so hard, because seeing the way she focuses on the work that she puts into the things, whether it's her dressmaking or right now she's working on her digital art so that she can make a webcomic and all that. She's a very focused individual, and it motivates me to be just as focused.
And is she Filipino American too?
Yes. No,
Yeah,
she's
so
straight Filipino, pure Filipino from the
Really?
Philippines.
So
Yes.
where did you meet each other? Is in San Diego, of course.
Yeah, we met each other in San Diego at a party, and luckily enough, she seemed cute, and so I decided to start talking to her, and as the story goes, we end up falling in love and getting married.
And you've been together before your marriage, before you
Yes.
got married. How long have you been together?
Probably 2 years, I believe.
Wow,
so.
it's long engagement then. Wow, and that's so smart. Getting married on February 14. There's no way you forget.
If I forget, then I truly messed up.
That is so. I didn't think about it. That's so smart. Yeah, but I will invite her one of these days to guest also, maybe next year, because I was going to her work and I said, oh, that's interesting. We should not keep her a secret, because if she's doing a lot of bridal gowns, June is always a big thing for any culture to get married. And I think if we could bring her into the limelight and see, it can generate some potential clients. Why not? And I saw her graphic arts as well. I'm surprised you didn't use that for your album.
No, that's in the works for the later
Yeah,
ones.
because she did scribble some of the graphic arts for a possible cover. Saw that, right? That is so cool.
Yep.
I said, oh my
Exactly.
God. Yeah, so I'm very, very interested. And hopefully, Janelle, I will be calling you one of these days, hooking up with you, because I want you to guess. I'll put you on the spot next time. Now, talking about your wife, since you guys got married 2 years ago, were you able to write any song for her?
I've written several songs, a lot of which I haven't really put out because we try to keep it personal. But there's several songs that I have in the works. For example, All I Got, which I believe we'll be talking. That's something that is a testament to our love as in terms of how we started out and in terms of where we're at and how we will proceed with our love. And there's also some other songs that I've written. There's like Mine Was Lost, Let's Just Pretend. Those will be coming out much later down the line. I have a lot of songs, Josh. I have a lot of songs in the backlog that I'm trying to put out, and I'm just trying to make reality catch up with what I have going on.
And one of the things, dude, that's so impressive, you just had your show here in Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
That's December 13th, was it correct?
Correct. December 13th.
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about.
How was that? How was the experience?
Fantastic. Oh my goodness. I've done several shows here in San Diego, and while it's always been a blessing and an opportunity to be able to perform for the people of San Diego, it's a completely different ball game up in Los Angeles. From the way they organize their sets, to the sound systems they have, to the people you're performing with. Everyone is bringing their A game, and it was an honor to be up there with them, because in my mind, usually it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough, but with the people I was performing beside, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool to be with these people and to be able to network with them and be able to get a better understanding of what it is to build a network in Los Angeles and how to communicate with all these other people. It was such a great experience and such a great introduction to the LA music scene that I hope to get back into more.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, music is universal. It transcends culture, it transcends geography, it transcends anything. Like that's why I'm excited to invite you to guest on the show, because your talent and your music, and we'll talk more about that. It's something that should not be kept a secret. I think the whole world needs to hear about
Thank
it.
you, Josh.
Needs
Thank
to hear
you.
about you and your music, because it professed a lot of things: love, ambition, motivation, inspiration. There's so many things in there. People just have to listen, and the thing is, let's face it, it's the Filipino American pride nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
been going strong. It was strong in the past, but it's stronger now, especially now with the advent of the Asian empowerment, whether in
Definitely.
music, in movies, in the arts, and other aspects of the environment. There's so many things going on with the Asian culture, especially with the Filipino American culture. We have people now being in Congress, being in mayors, and in politics.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's really, I think it's going to be soon, and I know you're going to be part of it. It's going to be the golden age of the Filipino American, which is so exciting.
Looking forward to it. I'm hoping it'll be a bright road ahead for us. You know, Josh.
Well, definitely with you as one of the talents. As a matter of fact, remind me, okay, because there's a couple of shows happening, the part of San Diego, and I think I'll introduce you to one of the producer, friend of mine who does shows in your part of town. I think your music will be a good addition for
I would
them.
love that.
Yeah,
I would
so
love that.
remind me even if I don't talk to you like after the show, then
Definitely.
just remind me. It's gonna be sometime Q1 of next
Okay.
year.
Perfect.
Okay, because he
I'm
does a
looking for
lot of shows, and I've seen some of his shows, and it's all Filipino American shows. I think you'll be a good addition, and also I'll introduce you some producer friends of mine here in Los Angeles. I think you'll be a good addition, especially with that kind of genre. I think that's what needed to spice the show a little bit.
Definitely.
Because normally you've seen Filipino shows, it's always ballad, pop,
Mhm.
a Broadway, but to add additional genre of rap, that would be a complete package, I think.
Agreed. And I'm going to bring my best.
Oh, without a doubt. Okay, now there's one thing that you're so proud of that you just recently launched, and that's your EP, your EP project, which is ambitious. And I'm so excited about that because One Step Away is part of that, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and then there's like "Cause I Want It Now."
Because
You
I
know,
want
there's a
that.
couple of songs that there. So talk about how many cuts are there in this particular EP?
So there's 5 songs total. Each of them have vibes just go towards my aspirations as a person, whether it's for my love or whether it's for my career as an artist. And so it was the first logical step for me to make as someone who is breaking their way onto the music scene. Just let you know what I'm about, let you know what I'm trying to achieve. And so I feel like every single song of those is off that EP is exactly what that is, from Legendary to Odyssey to Because I Want That to All I Got to One Step Away. It's about me, my aspirations, and my goals, and what I'm going to be doing to make sure I hit them.
Yeah, well, you already said that eventually your ultimate goal is to be legendary. It comes in time. And then, of course, the second one on the cut was Odyssey. Now, the Odyssey is a journey. So, what was that about? Is it your journey from point A to point B? Is that, just give us a little highlight of journey
So for Odyssey,
or Odyssey?
that is a song that's probably the oldest song I'll ever be releasing, because that was one of the first songs I wrote as an artist, and that beat is produced by myself. So it was one of the first things I ever created, but it's gone through so many iterations, from different verses to completely different verses to a completely different beat to completely different things. So you could say it's gone on its own odyssey in its way. But what I really like about that song is because I grew up with affinity towards Greek mythology. So a lot of the content in that song, I speak about things that come from Greek mythology. For example, the Odyssey, and I mentioned Minotaur's labyrinth, Icarus, his wings flying too close to the sun, Poseidon. So that's kind of the origin of that. Is just this long journey that an artist has to take, where they encounter so many things in their way, whether it's roadblocks or whether it's successes or the small things that keep us from doing the things we want to do, whether it's our mindset or things, external forces. That's kind of what Odyssey is about, that odyssey of becoming an artist.
See, that's one thing just listening to you, it would talk about a lot of things, the Greek mythology and all that. So those are for our viewers and our listeners. In a simple song, he could touch on all those things that most of us already took up either in college, in our literature, and those are all incorporated in just a song, and all those are all the influences. I'm gonna sip All I Got because we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Then One Step Away you did. Now, I'm very curious about Discuss I Want That. What was that all about? It's just cousin, so or is it because?
Just because I want that. Because I want that. So it's a lot higher energy of a song, more in terms of like if this would probably go well at a party, and I just wanted to have a song where it's just like talking about why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's because I want that. I want the feeling like a king. I want to be able to scream it from the top of the mountains, all that type of things. And it's talking about why I want those things. And even if I don't get those things, I do it because I love it. I do this stuff because I enjoy making music and putting myself out there. But if I happen to find my way to the top and becoming something super fantastic and well-known, then that's just a plus.
Awesome. And then you talk about, of course, you performed earlier, One Step Away. How does that song incorporated into your journey?
It's as simple as being as one step away from everything, that as long as I'm putting the work in, as long as I have the mindset, as long as I'm doing everything that I need to do in order to achieve the things that I want, I'm always one step away. Because if I don't do those things, then I'm never going to get there. So I just have to keep stepping and keep moving on.
Now, we already mentioned earlier that ambitious EP that you did, you had 5 songs. Of course, the first one was One Step Away, which you already did. Mm-hmm. Now, out of the 4 songs, why did you choose to release All I Got as opposed to the legendary Odyssey, as well as Cause I Want That? Why All I Got as opposed to 3 other songs?
Because I felt like it was a story that a lot of people would resonate with. While my aspirations as an artist is pretty widespread, something that people really identify with, I feel like love and the trials and tribulation of falling in love, staying in love, I feel like that is a lot more diverse and of experience that people have. And so I really wanted to make sure I get that out there as well. Like the hook of the song, I feel like is really catchy. People sing it along with it and they really enjoy it.
Yes,
so
they do.
I had to choose that one.
Yeah, before we continue, let's do Sunny Francisco. Shout out to you. Happy viewing. And then Mildred Kadag. Hello, Mildred. How are you? Happy viewing as well. Now, are you okay to perform the All I Got? Okay, All I Got. There's a MTV also that was recently released, and I will gonna show that as well. Yo, are you ready for that? We're gonna show the MTV while of course Winla will perform it live. First ever, it's live and it's not part of an MTV, but you could always see the MTV on his channel, which I will mention earlier, so everybody could follow and you could hear all his other songs and other works that he has done. This guy is so talented. Not only he would do the songwriting for majority of his song, he's also the vocalist. And on top of that, he's the mixing engineer. We'll talk about that as well after his performance. So, ladies and gentlemen, without much further ado, let's bring about, again, All I Got, Win Love.
I'll give you all I got. You're all I want. You're all I need, babe. I won't let down your heart while I got you. No matter where you are, I know I won't. I know I can't forget you. Without you, I am lost. I'm down with you. In your eyes, every single time they lock with mine. Butterflies terrorize as they flooded around inside. Ain't there nothing to make me try even harder to get you. I told myself that I'd do anything to have you be my boo. Every corny line I tried to make you giggle like a piglet seemed to entice you even further despite my lame demeanor. I'm way better than these other dudes. My confidence, the platoon I swung to beat in my platoon. Hopes to make some peace with you. Now that I've been lucky enough to be with you every night, I wanted to let you know that I ain't ever give up the fight. When you find someone that seems like they were sent from up above, you better hold on tight, cause you could be holding on to true love. I'll give you all I got, you're all I want, you're all I need, babe. I won't let down your heart while I got you. No matter where you are, I know I won't, I know I can't forget you. Without you, I am lost, I'm found with you. I lose my mind when you take the time to call me on my lately. I try to justify my attitude despite me acting kinda shady. I'm too caught up in my ego so I can't go be in the right, even though I should be doing what I can to try and see it from your side. But there's this fight between mentalities. If the one for us finds victory, then in the end it's guaranteed to produce a stronger you. See, I can't let this pride take control, ruin everything we've been working towards. I know that way beyond the pain, I got me a bit worth fighting for. Gotta break some eggs so they can't consider messing up the recipe. When you're working on a masterpiece, it's worth every ounce of energy. It ain't easy, but I hope you know you're not going through this all alone, cause together we won't ever spot. If I give you all I got, I'll give you all I got. You're all I want, you're all I need, babe. I won't let down your heart while I got you. Hey, where you are, I know I won't, I know I can't forget you. Without you, I am lost, I'm done with you. I'll give you all I got, you're all I want, you're all I need, babe. I won't let down your heart while I got you. No matter where you are, I know I won't, I know I can't forget you. Without you, I am lost, I'm found with you. Thank you.
That's so good. No wonder you chose that out of the songs. I mean, all the songs so far that I've heard are really good, but All I Got was really, really cool.
Thank you.
And MTV is really good. Now, I was talking to you earlier about what's the two MTVs that I've seen. There's always like a penchant for the shopping cart. What was that all about? Those people who are not seeing the video, which you will see, there's always a shopping cart.
So
In both videos, the first one, what's out of the first one was the One Step Away. There's a shopping cart, and this one has a shopping cart as well. So what was and I know there's a reason behind that. Can you tell us that?
So about that, when I first started making this music video, I really didn't have a crew. I was looking for people to work with, and I had a friend who had this forum Discord where she had a group of creatives that worked on things, various media, various music, etc. And so I reached out to them and said, I'm a musician, I want to make a music video. And so they came out, and some people were like, okay, let's make one, let's get one going, see how we like this working together, and then we can keep working. And so on that first day for the One Step Away music video, we went to Mira Mesa here in San Diego at a basketball court where a lot of the music video takes place. And at that basketball court, there was a shopping cart where you see it in the beginning. And then we had the ideas like, you know, just have Win Love get in the shopping cart and push them along. And so we ended up using that take in the music video. And it's such a charming little grocery cart that we really enjoyed. We decided to keep using it for other things. If you see in the music video, you see me pushing around. That's a different cart in the music video, but that's actually in Seafood City. I try to make sure that, at least for the first one, I tried to make sure that I incorporated as much of the Filipino community in San Diego. So made sure I got some Seafood City in there. We were gonna have some Jollibee shots, but we decided not to. But for the most part, that's the history. We just had a shopping cart, and was such a charming piece of our equipment that we decided to incorporate it in the rest of our music videos, to the point where we kind of came up with the name Studio Cart for the little video group.
I was going to say that. And then I think I'm going to send that video to Seafood City. They're a good friend of mine as a client as well. So I think they'll be happy that you incorporated that as well. And then that makes it interesting. Now, special happy viewing to, and of course, I think this is your uncle. Oh, no, Godfather, Joe Louis Karamat Soriano. He said, galing mo, may inaanak. In Tagalog means, you're so good, my godchild. Okay. Happy viewing, Joe. Okay, now talk about, because I know your EP, Ambitious, was selected or was honored as one of the Stickman's Top 50 playlist of 2022. So talk to us about that. It was so cool, and we're showing the cover album.
Yeah, it was. I'm really happy that I was able to be part of that list. Stereo Stickman, they were so great and kind to review the EP that I had put out, and they gave me such a good review, and I'm really happy with what they had to say about it. And so shout out to Stereo Stickman for having my review of that EP out. But further down the line, after they put out the review, they let me know, hey, we're going to include you on our top 50 playlist for 2022. And I was like, oh, that is so nice, man. I'm so honored to be part of this, because if you listen to the playlist, there's a lot of great artists on there, and to be included with those artists is just such an honor. And so shout out to Stereo Stickman for having me and writing such nice words about my EP.
I know, I'm trying to look for that review that he did. This is so cool, because I want to read it. I can't find it right now, because I was reading to it and it's so amazing. And then of course it talks about I'm looking for that review. For some reason I had it earlier, and it's a review. And do you have it with you? Can you read it? It's so cool.
Sure. Do you want me to read the whole thing?
Yeah, you read the whole paragraph. It's wonderful, and it talks about the review. And of course, to be given such a wonderful review, it talks so much about you and the product that you have done. So I'll give you that opportunity to. This is Stickman, man. You don't just get included in their top 20. It's a congratulations, kudos to you and to everybody. To everybody part of Ambitious.
Thank you. Yes. So shout out to Rebecca Cullen for this review. She's the one who runs Stereo Stickman. And so I'll read the first couple paragraphs about the EP. It reads, When Love refreshingly blends realness and originality with a vast musical influence as the deeply revealing, thoughtful, and inspiring new EP Ambitious smoothly graces the scene. Showcasing fast yet versatile bars across a plethora of flows and musical backdrops, Ambitious stands tall on the natural strength of Winlove's voice in both lyric and tone. There's passion, truth, and skill on display in equal parts, and underneath this, we get an organic arrangement of soulful instrumental color and calm. Legendary is all of this, building upon the emotion and energy consistently throughout. It's a mighty way to begin the project, and leaves you geared up and keen to stay tuned for the next 4 tracks. Skillfully achieving a worthy balance between the deeply personal and the accessible and anthemic, Winlove's music details uniquely honest stories of the self, yet does so with crisp and clean musicality that consistently connects. The words are familiar yet newly framed. The songs like Odyssey in their and ambient calm reach out for strength and groove and depth of topic all at once. Anthemic hook writing offers a lasting strength with "Cause I Want That," starting out on a melodic chant-like introduction, and another poetic and powerful story of self-belief and motivation following to aptly further that unity and infectious confidence. It's initially the EP's most memorable track. However, the sudden acoustic guitar work and tuneful appeal of All I Got follows to quickly change that role. All I Got is a personal favorite, highlighting a new vocal style from Winlove and keeping things impactful for that stripped back authenticity and heart. Raising the pulse at the final hurdle, One Step Away brings up the tempo and again draws focus to the sheer skill and captivating energy of a faultless lyricist and performer. Winlove promises both intricate ability and audience-aware songwriting throughout his music, and that's what Ambitious repeatedly delivers, an impressive, enjoyable, and uplifting project which provides a mighty introduction to a rap artist worth well knowing about.
That's amazing review. That's so amazing. It's glowing.
Yeah.
Glowing, and to come from that organization and that talks about that, and congratulations.
Thank you
And
so
that's
much.
to be included in their top 10. There's so many songs out there, but to be included in that list for this year, that speaks so much about your work. And
Yeah, it's really
congratulations
quite the
to
honor.
you doing a good work, and that is an outstanding review for any song or for any EP for that matter. And I'm so proud of you, and kudos to everybody's involved in the production of Ambitious. Shout out to Louis Roa. Hi, Louis. He said hello, everyone. To me, hello, and to Adele Ordinario. Hello, Louis. Happy viewing to you. I think Louis is in Seattle or Portland. He's in Portland. He's watching us. He's one of the Filipino American singers as well. So now, Winlove, there's a couple of questions I have for you. So we already talked about your influence. So what are your dreams? What do you still want to accomplish now that you have launched successfully your EP? You have this glowing review from Strickman, and you're part of that list. What are the other things you want to achieve?
Oh my goodness, Josh. There's so many things. I have several other arts in the works. So I have another EP planned. I have another album planned. I have an album after that planned. And recently I've been thinking of ways I can tie all those things together, because those works are going to be varying energies and varying types of music, from dancey type music to really hard straight rap to very like emotional type music. And so working on an overarching concept where it's not just the music being shared, there's a story being told along with it. And so my goal is to be able to create a story and create a universe in which my music has a place to live and tell that story that I want to tell. And so that's probably my biggest goal right now, because it's something that I'm very excited about. And if I can pull it off well, then it would just be I'd be so happy with my life.
Well, you never know. Dreams do come true, you know. They
Definitely.
do.
As long as you keep working at it,
Keep
that's the only way to
working
make sure it
on
comes true.
and never give up, never quit. Now, we already talked a little bit of how difficult it is to come up with how the challenges on rap music. So, in your case, though, what are the things that like obstacle or hurdle that you came across, not only in coming out with your MTV or your EP? What are the day-to-day challenges as a rapper, as an artist?
Oh my goodness. That's such a huge question for me, because it has not been easy for me as an artist, because I feel like my personality and the energy I put out is different from all the other rappers that are out today. It's a lot more uplifting, and while there are a lot of uplifting artists, there's not a lot that come from my background. And so oftentimes when I'm going around and doing the rounds in the San Diego music scene, it's been tough for me to find a place where my music resonates with, in terms of like finding a collective group of people. I used to, for example, when I first started in San Diego trying to make my way in the music scene, I ended up going with a punk rock collective, because as long as it had something to do with music and I could learn something from them, I was ready to work. I was ready to learn those things. And I made such great connections with those people. But in the end, my music wasn't exactly that type of thing. It didn't really fit in with that scene. And so for the longest time, it's been me looking around for people that resonated, when in reality, and what I've been starting to do now is just resonate on my own, and those people will find their way to me. And so that's been my goal as of late, just building myself up as an artist. And over time, I've found some really valuable friends who have helped me in music, and who resonate with my music, and I resonate with their music, that we can keep boosting each other's signal and help each other grow as artists, so that we can go through this. So while it was tough at the beginning finding a place where I belong, as I grew older and I learned all these things, I'm starting to make the place that I belong.
Yeah, I kind of felt that that's really one of the, especially in the genre that you've chosen. But what keeps you going, though?
What keeps me going is just being able to go out there and feel the energy. Like, one of my favorite things is just performing live, just being able to get on stage and perform for all these people and have this energy. Like, when I'm on stage, I'm sure you've probably heard this before, but I'm a different person. I have like my own life, my own stage persona that helps me convey the things that I want to convey in an effective manner. And so I don't necessarily always talk like this when I'm on stage. I'm a lot more boisterous and a lot more loud and a lot more energetic, and I'm a lot more me. I'm me to like 1,000% instead of right now where I'm me at 100%. So that's my goal, to be able to keep on performing music and have it be heard by people all over the place, because it's crazy to have people sing your stuff back to you. And I know it's almost like a rite of passage to be able to have that effect and hear that. But the first time that happened to me was when I was with my family and they were all singing All I Got, and I was like,
it's so surreal, isn't it? It's so surreal.
It's amazing. And I live that's what I live for now. And I'm trying to keep that going and just building myself up. So that's the goal.
Well, in time it will come, because like as you were talking, you know what's playing in my head is One Step Away. that melody, that song would that come out, and it's kind of weird because like even I'm talking to you now, it's still playing in my head. I could hear it. That's how
I've gotten that a lot.
Well, that's a good effect. Imagine
Definitely.
if you could multiply that with more people. That I heard it. Actually, I heard it 3 times. Well, today once from you, then yesterday, the other day. Now it's playing in my head, and I can get it out of my head. So those are good effect. But I'm
Definitely.
not. Well, okay. Now, as far as those 5 songs that you included in your EP, which one is your personal favorite at this time? And to couple with that, does it speak where you are right now?
Ooh, that's a great question, Josh. I'm gonna have to say Legendary. I love all of the song. Like I said, Odyssey is close to my heart because of my first song. One Step Away was the first song I have a music video, and One Step Away really pushed me forward this year in terms of this whole musical journey. But Legendary, despite everything, Legendary really distills where I am right now as an artist into a song. That's everything that I've been feeling and I still feel. And sometimes when I'm like feeling very negative about where I am in music, if I listen to that and listen to the things I'm telling myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, man, I'm right. I need to just focus. I need to just do these. So it's like, it's crazy to have, even in that song in Legendary, I say, I've written things still hitting me after years out. There's so many words, so many songs that I've written over the years that perfectly encapsulate who I am and how I was feeling at that moment, that when I go back to listen to it, like Legendary, it's gonna come back and hit me, and so that's the reason why Legendary is probably my favorite. It's exactly where I am right now.
Yeah, because well, maybe you could write about manifestation, and that's really what needs to be done. If that's really your goal, is to be eventually, like you said, rite of passage, and as time goes on, Legendary is not a far-fetched idea to conquer, especially
Exactly.
in the music scene, because now once your song is out there, and I know you're doing all the bells and whistles, and then of course with the show with the interview and with the other things that you're coming your way, once it gets a byword, and I believe too, because I've seen that with some artists, that when they're singing on stage, they're a total different person. There's a personal, because I know them personally now, they're very quiet or very loud, but when they go on stage, it's a different persona, and that makes sense. But what I at the end of the day, though, the progress, and it's really you making all the effort, and eventually all this hard work will pay off. It's pretty guaranteed out there.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now, what makes you frustrated? What frustrates Winlow?
In general, or
In general.
like, okay.
In general.
When people don't put their shopping carts back in the shopping cart corral, that kind of bothers me. Especially if it's in my parking space. I'm like, come on, man, couldn't you just have it's like right there? You could put it away. So that's one thing. The other thing, let's see what else. Just ignorance in general. Not being willing to learn and grow from things that you've proven. Say someone finds out that they're wrong about something, instead of being like, okay, I was wrong, I'm glad to have learned and grown from this experience, they double down and they're like, oh no, I'm right, man, I don't know what you're talking about. And so that's probably one of the biggest things that frustrates me, because when you're not open to your mindset and when you're not open to other people and having other input, it makes it hard for not only the community to grow. It makes it hard for you to grow and become a better person in what you need to learn and what you need to develop for yourself. And so that definitely stemmed from me before. Like I used to be kind of like that in terms of when people would be like, oh, maybe you should do something like fix something like this in your music. And like, no, my music's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. But over time, that's just pride getting in the way. And I had to learn to accept help from other people and accept these criticism. And like every now and then still there's that pride and it can get struck. But I'm doing my best to make sure I keep in my head that it's not always the best thing to just close yourself off from input like that. It's
Right.
make sure you have an open heart, open mind, so that you can help yourself grow.
And as long as there's criticism is always helpful, as long as they're constructive. I mean, they're just not out there to criticize, but at least firstly, it has to be honest, it has to be objective, and it's not personal. But at the end of the
Definitely.
day, you're right. I mean, don't take anything personal, because I like the fact that you said now that you're open-minded, because sometimes our ego gets into the way, our pride gets into the way, and that's what kill any project that we have in mind. Now, what are you most fearful in general? What do you fear about?
Oh my goodness. So in terms of being fearful, specifically for my musical aspirations, and this kind of stems from the whole pride thing, I'm afraid that I'll be doing this and it won't amount to anything, but that's my pride getting in the way of understanding of the things that I already achieved. Like even just putting this EP, it's been such a huge leap in my life, but my pride is like, no, you're not like a famous, you're not super famous yet, or you're not there yet. So it keeps me from appreciating things, and it makes me fearful of failure, when in reality failure is the thing I should be chasing, because it helps me learn and it helps me grow. And so it's a mindset that I'm trying to change, but right now that's probably my biggest fear. Like in everything, like I overthink things and I'm like, oh, this is gonna fail, this is gonna be failing, and I'm trying to get in the mindset of, even if it does fail, at least you learn something, at least you're able to grow. And so that's probably my biggest issue right now.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you cannot be born legendary.
Yep.
You take baby steps.
Love
And I
that.
think
Love
you are
that.
in the right way. That you have to start from somewhere. All big businesses, all big artists, they start from being unknown. And you never know. I just listen. I'm telling you, even as I speak, I keep hearing one step away. Can't get it out of my head. I hate it. But I
You're
hate it
welcome.
in a good
You're
way.
welcome.
Right? Do you still get? Do you get offended when? Do you get people bashing you?
I have not actually. Like, the person who bashes me the most is myself, honestly. I'm my own worst critic type thing. Like, oh, there's something I could have done better. When in reality, everyone has been completely supportive of me, whether it's my friends and my family or just random people. Like, I've had so much support. And so the person that bashes me the most is me, just because I don't allow myself to appreciate the things I've done. And so that's something I've been trying to get better at.
And that's something you need to learn. You need to love you. Seriously, and appreciate you, and don't overthink. Overthink sometimes when you overthink something, and this is just an older person to a young person. When you overthink, you think of other negative things, which is gonna kill the cat, basically. So if you, firstly, the mere fact that it's really playing in my head, and I know for a fact that's just not me. Whoever will hear your song, or the series of songs, especially the 5 songs that you put out, I'm telling you, it's a good sign. It's a good sign, because it means that, because they always say, I was told by the experts, especially the songwriters that I've dealt with and I've talked to and I've been friends with, if you come out with from a show, whether it's a Broadway show or a musical, whatever, and you start humming this one particular song, it means it's a good song. Why? Because it adheres to you and it's stuck in your brain. And that's what One Step Away is doing for me right now.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, the artist? Do you have any favorite artist that you want to collaborate? I mean, I know it might be a stretch, but at this point in time, like, oh, okay, is there a particular artist or group of artists that you want to emulate in your career as you venture into your career?
Oh my goodness. The probably biggest one right now, and it's kind of indicative of where my music will be heading. If you know Anderson .Paak,
Yes.
he's in Silk Sonic with
Yeah.
Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
But I really resonate with Anderson .Paak's music, and he has such a nice dancey vibe, and he has such a sultry voice, and it would be an honor to just work with him on anything. And so, like, if I get to that point, I'm definitely gonna take that offer if it happens.
You will feel that you're made, huh?
Yep, exactly.
No, how do you see yourself, like, say, you're doing your EP, you just released your EP recently, I think in November. You did your first MTV with Away, and then you said earlier that you're doing your next EP. So what's your plan? What's your career plan from where you are right now to say next year, 2023? What are the game plan that you have in place?
So right now, the goal is to get that next EP out and then the next album out. Because right now, for the longest time, I felt like it would be hard to establish connections with myself as an artist if I don't really have a body of work out. And so that was one of the goals with this first EP, to make sure I can send people these songs and be like, this is something I have released. This is something that you can consume online, and so you can hear this music, so that I can start booking shows, so that I can start doing all these things. And with that first EP out, it's really given me a lot more opportunities, like being able to talk to you, Josh. And so it's just, that was the first step. And now keep building on that and keep building up my audience so that I can establish myself and start finding a way to have my audience support me with my music, whether it's through merchandising or just having them listen to my music, coming to my shows and all that. And so that's the goal with the next couple ones. The next EP, my goal is to make sure that it has a better rollout process, because what I learned with this first EP is I can't just set a date and then just hope I can release on that date. I have to make sure the EP is done, and I have to make sure all the media is created. I have to make sure all the promotions created. I have to get the music video concepts established and filmed and everything, so that when I do release the next EP, it's a much smoother rollout, and it'll keep people engaged with my content as I share it on Instagram or Facebook. And so just refining that process of release, because what happened with the Ambitious release is I set a date and it's like, okay, I'll get these songs finished by that date. And I missed that date, and I kept having to push it back. And so what I've learned is like, okay, I definitely just got to get the things finished before I promise things. Otherwise, people will be like, oh, when is he releasing music? This day, but he said he was, and it's not out. So I want to establish my process in terms of releases. So that's my goal for the next EP. And then by the time I have my album out, hopefully I can establish a lot more connections within the industry, so I can start building up shows, start building up tours, and start building up just better ways to get my music out there to people, whether it's through my merchandising. I've been working on a couple of shirts. I've been working on some ideas so I can sell things to people and get my brand out there.
And that's smart, because that's smart. Really, I was going to mention that to you. Now that you have your Win Love as a brand, and then you have to start with merchandising. I mean, it doesn't have to be big. Maybe shirts, caps, ballparks and stuff like that, and things that would remind a Win Love. And Win Love is such a good coin word, and it was a surprise for me to know that's really your name. But it could connotes a lot of things. Win Love, you with love, you're a winner. Things
Definitely.
like that. So the merchandising is good. Okay, and you kind of touch on the lesson learned about your producing your first EP. Aside from what you have mentioned and share with us, what are the lessons you learned and what you could avoid in producing the second EP?
Just have a lot more focus in terms of building it up, because kind of like I said a bit earlier, One Step Away was the thing that kind of launched everything off. And so before that, I wasn't as focused as I was on music. So as soon as that music video came out, I was like, oh, this is cool. I want to keep doing this. I want to keep making this. That's when I started getting serious and started focusing a bit more. So the thing that I learned, if I want to make sure that the next rollout is as successful, I have to make sure I maintain that focus and make sure that I'm learning from the previous release so that I can get to this next one.
Right. Now, before we continue, you have another performance for us, right?
I do, yes.
Yeah. Okay, and what is this song? Is this part of your EP?
It is part of. Well, I'll give you a couple options.
Okay.
I can do "Cause I Want That," which is off the EP, or I can do a song that I plan on having on my album, which I think would be a fun one to share. It's called "Let's Just Pretend."
Okay, let's just pretend.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So
And then
this
maybe-
one, go ahead.
Maybe our closing song will be one other song that I
Okay,
need
sounds
to
good.
perform for us. Okay.
So this one's called "Let's Just Pretend." This is the other song that I wrote for my wife because she's not exactly the most. She doesn't want the attention like I do. She's not a very. She doesn't want to be in the spotlight. So this song is about saying it's fine because I'm here. I'll handle the spotlight.
That's so
let's
cool.
just
That's so
pretend.
cute. Yeah.
So
I'd
here it
like
is.
to hear
Let's
this
just
song.
pretend.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, again, let's not pretend we learn.
Hey, girl, I know you feel the being seen, but you don't need different thing with you and me. Usually we cause a scene cause they got caught up in the gravity. We shine like stars that's vibrating. We're one to know against everybody. I know you know we kinda freaky. Let's get it on. Set it free, let your hair feel good. I'll do mine too. Colorized eyelids while I'm choosing shoes. What's that perfume, girl? You smelling good. Rock back to rap roots, feeling like golden wood. We walk around like we own the place. We got the jaws dropping right off their face. In any case, we ain't got time to waste. We the main course, let's give them a taste. We're gonna step it up tonight. Ooh, we looking hella fun. Yeah, oh, we gon' do it right. Haha, we shine, we gon' set the night on fire. There's just 10 stars in the sky. Yeah, I'm gonna keep you by my side. Let them stay, we go pass by, oh, we can fly. Just you and I, until the night. There's just 10 stars in the sky. Until the end, I'm gonna keep you by my side. Like them stairs, we go pass by, oh, we can fly. Just you and I, until the night, and we can ride. Just you and I, until the night, until we die. We live the night, we live the night, and we can dance. Just you and I, all through the night. Let's just pretend. Let's just pretend. You know we as comfortable as can be. Ain't nothing better than your company. It's like you're my missing puzzle piece. Maybe you're the lock to my key. Everything happens with comedy. Ain't no retreat because we full steam ahead. And we is our destiny. Destination, love as identity. Earning each and every memory into the fantasies of our mentality. And we always reaching for the P&D cause got the dreams that we gotta see. And even if we don't, we don't give it. We ain't gonna quit. We resilient. Ups and downs go round and round and round. We the best around, pound for pound for pound. We're gonna turn it up tonight. Ooh, cause we looking hella fine. Yeah, oh, we gon' do it right. Cause we shine, we gon' set the night on fire. There's just 10 stars in the sky. Until the end, I'm gonna keep you by my side. Let the stairs, we go pass by, oh, we can fly. Just you and I, till the night. There's just 10 stars in the sky. Until the end, I'm gonna keep you by my side. Let the stairs, we go pass by, oh, we can fly. Just you and I, till the night, and we can fly. Let's just pretend that we stars in the sky. We got until the end, I'm gonna keep you by my side. And we can dance. Just you and I, all the time. Let's just pretend. Let's just pretend till the night. Let's just pretend that we stars in the sky. Until the end, I'm gonna keep you by my side. Let the stairs, we go pass by, oh, we can fly. Let's just pretend. Hey.
That's so cool. You know, it's so funny because I think most of the songs that we have heard today, they're very danceable.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all. It seems like this one. Let's not pretend. It's really cool. I was
thank
dancing
you.
on my end here. It's so
I'm
cool.
glad.
It's,
Yeah.
it's a cool, relaxing, and it's I think your wife should really really like it a lot too.
Yeah, yeah. I think she does. That was one song that one's fully produced myself, mixed and everything. So that's all 100% me. So that's kind of the energy I'm going for towards my main album.
Now, who is Win Love when no one's watching?
I'm a goofy dude, man. I'm a goofy guy. I like to play video games. Right now I'm trying to get really good at Tekken 7. And then other than that, it's just music. Just doing this music thing, hang out with family's the huge part for me. That's been one of the other struggles for me is like I like to be around my family and doing things with them, but then at the same time I want to progress in this music stuff. So it's at times I have to sacrifice spending that time with family in order to do the things that I need to do. So while like I'm such a huge family person, it's just I really want to get this stuff going, you know.
Yeah, because especially during the holidays, especially for Filipino Americans, we're really big into family. And of course, just like what you said, there's a lot of sacrifices that you need to do to follow your dreams. And again, I'm repeating it to you, dreams do come true, my friend. It will come true. Just continue, don't put the hard work and make sure that this music, your songs are out there. And it's just a matter of time.
You know I will,
Just a
Josh.
matter
You
of
know I
time.
will.
I always believe that. Okay, now with what you have right now, how do you want to be remembered by people?
Ah, man, just as a fun loving guy who tried to help out, who just wants to help people, you know, just realize things about themselves that I've realized about myself, because I know so many people that they want to do things with their art, the things that they're passionate about, but they're caught up in work and other things that distract them from it, which is fine if that's where you are in your life, but at some point you're going to be like, I want to get this book written. I want to make this movie. I want to make this fashion line. And so I'm trying to give the idea that it's fine to not be, to not be afraid of what you want to do. Just build up yourself and not worry about what other people think, because the most successful people I've seen don't really care about what people think. And so just do you, and just trying to spread that message to people and try to help build people up. For example, I have some friends that after I did one of my shows, they're like, I'm gonna get into music. I'm gonna because I've been wanting to make beats. I've been wanting to make songs, and so they've been sharing me their music. I'm like, that sounds so awesome. I'm so glad that you decided to make this, because if you didn't make this, I would have never heard this song, and that would have been a shame, because art is nothing. Art is significantly less value if it's not shared. Like, it's great to make something for yourself, but the value of art increases significantly when you share it with someone else, because someone else will take something you completely didn't expect from the message from your song, because that's the magic of art. It's interpreted from the person that makes it to the person that consumes it. People can put their own life experience into the things that the art that they see and hear.
And that is so true. And I like the thing that you mentioned about not overthinking and not thinking so much about other people opinion about what you're doing. Just paddle along. You know you're on the right track. There'll be a lot of humps and hurdles and bumps on the way, but if you just continue, and I keep telling people, be a turtle. Don't hear anything bad. To have a thick skin, because you are in the right genre, and your message, it transcends culture, it transcends age, it transcends time, because those are all universal, and people just need to listen on the message and the lyrics of this song. And actually, when I was going through my research, I was reading some of the lyrics that's out there. I said, oh, okay, though it becomes more meaningful once you know what your song, because sometimes, because it's so fast, you're mentioning so fast, you're rapping, so you kind of miss some of the lyrics. But if you really go to the nitty-gritty of the lyrics itself, it's so powerful. And I think you should continue, because you have a good knack in your shoulder about writing about ideas, about love, and about experiences. And I think you should continue. I think
Thank you.
if anything I could advise you with, don't give up. Continue. I know there will be a lot more hurdles, but you never know. Shows like this and people that you meet, me and every other people that would hear your music. You never know. 2023 is just like a few weeks away, and everything is opening up, and there'll be bigger and better, wonderful things, prolific things happening for the next year. And I think it's going to be part of it. It's a push for everybody. I think it's a wonderful thing. As they said, it's going to be, everything will be put together to have a wonderful life. I think that's what it is.
I just know that 2023 is going to be a big year for Win Love. So I hope
whoever's
listening, I hope everyone's ready.
I mean, we already so much in struggle, all of us globally, for the past 2 years. I think 2023 will be a much better, wonderful year to everyone.
Definitely. Agreed.
Okay, now we know about a lot of things about you already. Anything that you could share with us that people would not know about you? Good or bad?
Let's see.
Good and bad.
This might not. I really love food.
Me too.
It's kind of a problem, but also it's not, because I like eating it. Being born here in the U.S., one of my biggest connections to the Filipino culture was through my dad's cooking. My late father, Jonathan Dave Balabagan-Sereno, and so like that really sparked my love and interest in food and how it brings people together. In fact, like I wrote a poem a while ago. I think if you're fine with that, I can do that poem for you for the last thing.
Sure,
but pretty much it's a poem about how food has impacted my growing up and how I became the person I am today because of the food that was shared with me and how it impacts people's lives. And so I can talk on that later. But yeah, I'm a huge foodie. I have a 2nd degree black belt in Taekwondo that I got in high school.
Wow.
So it's been a while, but I can still kick pretty high. So I'm pretty proud about that. Let's see. I am a web developer. I started out as a web developer probably 10 years ago, and I've been blessed to have that career because it's what's really giving me the ability to do the things I'm working on these days, because I have a pretty solid I'm a pretty stable job that helps fund the things that I'm buying for music and the places I go for music. And so, yeah, thanks to my parents for pushing me towards that education. But so I'm a web developer. I'm a pretty nerdy guy. I've been into comics, anime, video games since I was young. And, yeah, I think those are probably the smaller things that people wouldn't really know. Yeah.
Interesting. Very, very interesting, you guys. Now, I'd like the fact that I think one, you mentioned earlier, I think you need to do some merchandising to get more traction on the marketing. Also, I'd like the fact that you're thinking or contemplating of doing or writing a book. I think that would be a book of poetry would be nice to include all the lyrics. At least it kind of like supplement the song with the lyrics. That was so cool. Okay, now let's talk about where they can find you. People are already texting me, where can we find this guy? Is it Win Love that we need to find, or is it Joseph, or is it Joseph Soriano? I said, wait a minute. So let's do this. If any of our listeners, viewers, and our team replay would be try to catch you on different platforms, social media platforms. Let's start with Facebook, where they can find you. I know you have some pages.
Yes. So on Facebook, if you just look for Win Love Music, but you should be able to find me. That's the whole name, just like Win and Love. It's below me. You can see it. Yeah. Win Love Music. That's my Facebook. The name of the page is just Win Love, but if you're to look up the URL, it's facebook.com/WinLoveMusic.
Okay, and then for Instagram.
So Instagram is probably where I'm most active. If you want to follow me on there, it's at winlove.js. That's where I post most of my. I've been posting a lot of Instagram reels about some of my songs and remixing reels with other people, and I've been also. That's where if you want to keep up to date with my latest and greatest. I try to update everything, but the one I'm most active on is Instagram.
Okay, about YouTube.
YouTube. So that one, luckily enough, you can just go to youtube.com/@WinLove. I was able to get WinLove for that one, so that's great.
Okay, and you don't have any TikTok, Twitter?
I do have a TikTok. So
okay,
yeah, TikTok is WinLoveJS without the dot. So WIN WinLoveJS.
What's JS for?
Oh, it's for Joseph Soriano, but
Okay.
also in the field I work in, there's I'm sure you've heard of JavaScript.
Yes.
So a lot of the files are .js, so it's kind
Yeah,
of
the
I'll
script,
play on
yeah,
that.
one of the language. Rosana Milar Barrera is watching. Hello, Rosana is watching us from Qatar, Doha,
Oh.
Qatar. She was my guest too. He said hi, Kuya Josh and Louis Rowan
Hi.
and Winlove. Yeah, all the way from Qatar. And then John Mendoza is watching as well. Hi, John. I think
Hey, John.
John is either in Los Angeles. I'm not sure. But hi, John. Happy viewing to you. So again, those people who are coming late, you could always watch the replay. This guy is one of those singers or rapper that you really, really need to hear. One of the Filipino American talent that I think he's gonna be big. I know he's gonna be big.
Yep.
I could feel it. And again, this song is still playing in my.
Love to hear it, Josh.
You need
Love
to hear
it.
the music and you
Yep.
need to hear the song, and then and so it's playing in my head. Okay, now so we talk about where they could follow you and all that. Okay, let's talk about the poetry you like to do.
Okay, so as I mentioned, this is a poem that's pretty much just an honor to my dad and my tie to Filipino culture. And so, if you're ready, I can read it or
Yeah.
recite it for you. It's called "A Tale of a Few Dishes."
Tell a few dishes.
Yay!
It has to be- that
You
has
got
to
it. You
be-
got it.
It has to be an ode to your dad.
Exactly. A tale of a few dishes. I love food. I eat so much, I think I need a tummy tuck. But I don't care much because food well done is as good as love. Stories told through ingredients and heard through taste buds, transcending generations with every recipe that's made up. My dad is definitely my favorite chef. When I'd walk into a room filled with the perfume of his Filipino stews, drool would spill in pools while I waited for a preview, usually a spoonful of soup to see if the food was ready soon. Whether it was adobo or sinigang, bulalo or dinuguan, you could always feel the love in every dish. I'd always feel like the luckiest kid because all my cousins and friends would say his food was the best, but it wasn't just his food. It was the food of his parents, and his parents' parents, and his parents' parents' parents, each era adding their own flair to bring their own story to the narrative, shaping my palate to include some weird exceptions like, have you guys ever had bagoong? Well, for the uninitiated, it's a Filipino fish paste with salt taste so powerful, I hated it as a kid, but now I eat it by the mouthful. Well, not really by the mouthful, because that's like a ton of salt, but I still put a lot when I'm stealing kare kare right out the pot. Which each flavor savored a whole new view of heaven cape tailored based on the things I would hastily inhale because all that food always seemed to put me in the right mood, just like a warm summer night when you're laying on the grass illuminated by the moon. I'm sure most of us had that ideal home-cooked meal. The type of food that tastes so good, anticipation makes it seem like it took an eternity to cook. The type of food that takes you home to 10 years ago when all you were concerned with was homework and early morning cartoon shows. The type of food that has you saying that your dad's version of a dish is based on one at the restaurant that's Michelin rated because it's so much more than how the food tastes or how it's displayed. It's the people that partake, the memories we create, and the times we celebrate as we congregate over dishes so meticulously made, just like a delicious work of art where the canvas is the plate. I'm pretty sure that's why we use major holidays as an excuse to stuff our faces. You can tell that's the case because when we reminisce on those days, we often say how grandma's casseroles always blew us away, and that's what makes food so great. The people who love you love to see the smile on your face when your stomach is full and your soul is even fuller. They say, food is the way to a man's heart, and for me, the adage has never been truer. Because even if it's something as simple as ketchup, hot dogs, onions, and soy sauce put together in a frying pan to make my dad's signature breakfast, you know that as soon as I take that first bite, even in my worst mood, everything will be all right. Thank you.
That is so amazing. That is so
Thank you.
amazing. We love that.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know how you do it. You really have a knack, and I think you should continue not only writing poetry, but I think my challenge, if you could put this into music and to a beat, that would be so cool. This could be your bebot of Apple the app. You know,
Yeah.
It's so amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
then there's a couple here. Joe Louis Karamat Soriano said JS also stands for our whole family's initials except for the wives.
Yep.
Thanks, Joe. So that's Jay Soriano.
Yep.
And then, of course, Rosana Milabarera, my good friend from Doha, Qatar, are a very good supporter. So she was laughing about the poem. He said, ha ha ha, because of the things that you had mentioned about the poem. He said, yes. And then she put a Philippine flag. And then, of course, she's making excuse. Yeah, it's okay. She said, I woke up late. Sayang, na-miss ko ito. But definitely she promised, I will replay it. Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Do you have another last song for us? I know you've been, you're not tired yet because I keep telling you it's the mouth. But before we end the show, we'll have your last performance. Then we have your message for your supporters, your fans, and your family. And then, so what is this song that you're gonna be so wonderfully provide for us?
So this last one is called "Cause I Want That." It's a much more upbeat song, and normally I would finish off with "One Step Away," but I think this would be a good one to just do as well. It's called "Cause I Want That." It's also off the Ambitious EP, so I hope you guys enjoy.
Hey, cause I want that, the feeling like a king and all the respect. Give me nothing but some freedom, so I hope that I gon' make it through this fight. I'ma hold on to this fight, cause you know we do it right. Cause I want that, the feeling like a king and all the respect. Give me nothing less than freedom, so I hope that I gon' make it through this fight. I'ma hold on to this fight, cause you know we do it right. Is it fight that I'm coming for the things that I dream to receive. Upon seizing the opportunity to do something so beautifully, to you salute it suitably. All the effort put in could inspire perpetuity. These mentalities from youth, you see us studying things unconsciously. I develop what I need. I want to see something more for my family. So I aim straight to the galaxy and find myself with Pleiades till the fade away like a cold. Cause I want that, hey, feeling like a king and all the respect. Give me nothing less than freedom, so I hope that I gon' make it through this fight. I'ma hold on to this fight, cause you know we do it right. Cause I want that,
what you want, hey,
king and all the respect. Give me nothing less than freedom, so I hope that I gon' make it through this fight. I'ma hold on to this hype, cause you know we do it right.
Cause honestly, I'm overtaken by those focusing. Overcome the weaknesses to produce a new awakening for people who need something more. All the things they hurt before. Maybe I'll be the one to write a song they all be singing for. Maybe I won't, I'll just remain dope. An underground messiah with mythological flows. I'll keep writing this music, cause this stuff is my life. But that don't mean that I can't reach for the sky.
Cause I want that, the feeling like a king and all the respect. Give me nothing less than freedom, so I hope that I gon' make it through this fight. I'ma hold on to this fight, cause you know we do it right. Cause I want that,
hey,
the feeling like a king and all the respect. Give me nothing less than freedom, so I hope that I gon' make it through this fight. I'ma hold on to this fight, cause you know we do it right.
I'ma be honest, I never thought I'd be taking this road cause I'm overly cautious, but once I learned how to get out of my own head, I'm always one step away from everything I wanted. Through the ups and downs, I am ambitious with my intent. I know I'll be legendary if I'm giving them my best. Odyssey just to see if I can rise to the top. I guarantee it's worth the wait. I'ma give it all I got, you know why?
I want that,
hey, the feeling like a king and all the peace, give me nothing less than freedom, so I hope that I'ma make it through this fight, I'ma hold on to this fight, cause you know we do it right, cause I want that, the feeling like a king and all the peace, give me nothing less than freedom, so I hope that I'ma make it through this fight, I'ma hold on to this fight, cause you know we do it right, cause I want that. Shout out to Justin Alcacid. He's the one who did the saxophone outro for that. So I met him on Instagram. He just followed me, and I found out he plays saxophone, and I believe he's in New York City. But he absolutely killed that saxophone part, and I like it's crazy, Josh, because for one way or another, I always just end up working with Filipino creatives, whether it was for my music video or the features I have on my album, my EP. It's just I don't actively look out for them, but I just find my way to be working with
They
Filipinos.
gravitated to you.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
You should see the hearts that's going on while you were singing. I mean, I was thinking if we could put $sign on those hearts, we could make millions by now. Like where you were singing, the hearts are just going crazy.
Love it. I love it.
Love it, you guys. So now, again, let's repeat the platform or the social media where they could find you, especially your music, so they could hear more about your EP. Are you already on Spotify? They could download it?
Correct. I'm on all streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube Music, Tidal, Deezer, all those. Pretty much if you want to find me, just look up Win Love Ambitious. So
Okay.
just easy enough. Look up those 2 words and you should be able to find me on pretty much any streaming platform. If you want to follow me on social media, my Instagram is @winlove.js. If you want to find me on Facebook, you can find me just Winlove Music on Facebook. And then on Twitter, it's WinloveJS. On TikTok, it's also WinloveJS. And if you want to just look me up on my website, all my information is on my website, winlovemusic.com. And so make sure you guys check it out. There's a lot of information on there. And once I get merch out, that's where it'll be. So keep an eye out.
Just let us know. That will be so exciting. So Rosana Millar said, wow, it is so nice rap song, especially the sax.
Yep. He killed that. He killed that sax. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that was so cool. And then Rosana said, okay, #WinLove.
Yes, thank you, Shana.
Thanks, Rosana. And see, you have a fan now from Doha, Qatar.
I love it. I love it.
Now, any message to your supporters, to your family, to your wife, to your relatives who's watching and will be watching the replay of this show?
Just so it's here on the internet forever. Thank you guys. Like, this has been a long journey to get to this point, from just starting off officially 2015, trying to figure out what I want to do with music, how I want to proceed with it, being fearful for how I want to proceed with it because I didn't know how I would be perceived. And so this past year has been huge in terms of my growth and trying to get my stuff out there and get my focus set. And I couldn't be doing this without the people that I have behind me, from my family to the people who helped me out with the music video, to my friends, to specifically, like, I have my Uncle Charles Gordon, Uncle Arwin Kudal. They helped me on the music video. Like, there's so many people that I have in my circle that I am so grateful for. My wife, my brothers, my mom, my sister-in-law, my cousins. There's so many people. I'm just so blessed because I know there's people who don't have this type of circle, this support system. So I am completely blessed for the people that I have in my life. So, like, I'm thankful for every opportunity that I've been given because of the people, especially my grandmother, Aurora Soriano Kudal Rivera. She's the one who helped us get connected. And throughout my life, she's given me so many things, just opportunities to help grow. And so I've been, again, blessed for the things that I've been given. And so thank you to every single person that's helped me on this journey. And I hope you guys are excited for what's to come next.
Well, we're all excited.
Definitely.
And can't wait to hear your music on different platforms. And for sure, like, see, can't get away. In my head, oh my God.
I'm in there.
This is going to be a trip. This is going to be a trip for me until the whole night tonight. But on a lighter note, I really thank you for spending some time with us. Almost 2 hours, man. So thank you so much. The time goes so fast, and thank you for all these performances and for allowing us to get to know WinLove, to some of your background, your music, how it was developed, the challenges, the struggles, your aspirations and your goals, and ultimately how you want to be remembered. Those are, I know a lot of people will be touched, will be inspired, will be motivated on things that you've done, and you will be doing greatness, not only for yourself, but, you know, to raise the Filipino American flag, or the Filipino flag. And that's another powerful influencer person that could give the world, you know, how beautiful our culture is, especially from the Philippines, and with your mom and your dad being from there, and then here you are, the second generation Filipinos, continuously raising the flag, and that's wonderful.
Definitely.
But on behalf of my show, Alam Mo Ba, with Jush Andowitt, and also the station PHLV Radio, we thank you. And I know this is not going to be the last time that we're going to see each other or talk to each other. I think this will be a beginning of a good friendship. And then I would like also to, I know if your wife is watching, I would like to invite her for next year to guest, because I'd like to see that work of her graphics, as well as her bridal design. You never know what would come out of that, and that's wonderful. And with that, I appreciate it. It's almost 2 hours, my friend. It's a wonderful discussion, and for us, I don't even want to say it's an interview, but it's more of a discussion of your life, your work, and your goal, and what you have to accomplish in life. And that's wonderful. And I wish you all the best. And I try to help whatever I could to help you to achieve your goal ultimately. And I know it will be such a wonderful addition to the Filipino American talents that we have around.
Thank you so much, Josh. Like you said, it's been 2 hours. It doesn't feel like 2 hours. I had a blast. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been
And
such
you
a
never
great
know.
time.
We'll do when you have another EP or another project coming along or any concert. We'll invite you. Just let me know, and I will invite you to guest again because we have guests every time anyway, and I could sneak you in and then just promote your thing and whatever we could do to help. We'll do that because these are the things that we do, and that's why the show was created, and that's why we're doing these shows because of people like you who are world class. They just need to be discovered, introduced, or reintroduced to the world.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Josh. Looking
Wonderful.
forward to it.
The pleasure is ours. Now, before I close the show, just any other show that I close, tomorrow I have another show, which is Dear Kuya Josh. It's at 10 p.m. on Pacific, and the rest of the world, it's going to be tomorrow, Sunday for some of you, and then Saturday for us. But like before I close any show, I always tell people, be kind. You can never go wrong with kindness. And although sometimes it's very hard, especially in this day and age with all the challenges that we're facing, the act of kindness that you do to people, it's pretty guaranteed it will come back to you in different times, in different forms, in different occasions. So with that, have a wonderful weekend, the rest of the week, and have a blessed and safe and fabulous weekend, weekday next week, the whole week. And I know next week will be Christmas, so enjoy the season, enjoy family, and be safe, and God bless us all. Thank you so much, you guys. I'll see you. Bye-bye.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
From your PHLV radio family, Merry Christmas and all the best in the coming year.
Merry Christmas from your friends at PHLV Radio.